I know it's not something that can be solved in the next 6 weeks because elections are already
Definitely
around the corner. But there's people who say that, I mean, we have two, quote-unquote, major parties now, so it's easier for them to police each other. Why then are we still complaining? I mean, in the past, we had this behemoth called PDP where every other person was sort of groveling around and PDP could do what they wanted. Now, these days, we have two major parties that can police each other. Shouldn't that be a good thing?
It would not be a good thing. We do not have two major parties who can police each other. The problem, I think it's a hydra head. It's not as simplified as we make it seem. But merely saying that because we have two major parties, it's possible to police each other doesn't make it that easy to police each other. The problem of vote buying is not a problem that was created and continually festered by the political parties. We have an institutional engagement or an institutional involvement in the sense that the institutions that are supposed to police those people who are engaged in vote buying, they've been compromised. The electoral watchdog, INEC, we cannot say for certain whether INEC is not compromised or whether INEC is not partisan in the election. So to what extent can we say that you can police? The question then becomes, if we have these two parties and someone is supposed to police them, who polices them if the police themselves are involved? So that's a challenge for us. It's not as easy as it's a complex problem, and we cannot simplify the problem by merely saying that because we have two political parties. We've always said that elections in Nigeria have always been won by the best rigger. It was the same thing. It wasn't so different in 2015. The only reason why we did not have the violence that we had in 2015 was because somebody was brave enough and had the presence of mind enough to appreciatively understand and admit that he was outrigged in the election. So that's a challenge. It's difficult. It will not go away. And we cannot wish it away because we think that there are just two political parties. There are more than that.
Let's talk battleground states now, because there are certain states in this country where most times you kind of know where the elections are going to go, who the winner for that state is going to be.
True.
It may be marginally different with percentages at different times, but most times you know the party that's going to take it. But there are certain states that sort of swing with every election. What states should we be watching this time? I know Benue is a big talking point for a lot of people.
Well, Benue is a big talking point because of apparent violence there.
And they voted the APC.
And they voted the APC.
And the PDP previously.
So there's a chance that votes in Benue might swing the other way. But then there are also political considerations. We know the powerhouses in Benue. Again, as I have said, the elections would not be determined by, again, what the people want. We have opinion molders in those swing states. And there's still the problem of vote buying. We have to still coming back to that issue. So that it's not as easy to say that, well, the people of Benue State are not so happy with the present administration so that elections may swing the other way. It's not so easy to say that.
What about Akwa Ibom? Do you think Akwa Ibom is going to swing? They're traditionally PDP. They've been traditionally PDP.
It's very difficult. Akwa Ibom has always been traditionally PDP, notwithstanding the switching. Apparently, one would call them their spiritual leader, political leader. He switched notwithstanding. I am quite aware that in Akwa Ibom State, there's sort of a split. Akwa Ibom might not enjoy that dominance, or PDP might not enjoy that dominance that they have always enjoyed in Akwa Ibom State, because apparently it would seem that there's been some bit of factionalization, so to speak, in Akwa Ibom State, with Godswin Akpabio now leading a certain faction. There's a chance that PDP might not enjoy that dominant majority, that landslide majority they've always enjoyed. So Akwa Ibom, it's not like it's in the bag. Benue, we are not so sure. Kano State, we know where it's going to go. And when we talk about swing states, those are the states we would more likely consider.
What about Adamawa? It's a very interesting scenario that people paint. There are people who swear that even if the PDP candidate is from Adamawa State, it traditionally has gone to President Buhari, even when he's lost the elections in the past. And they think it's still going to happen this time. Well,
again, I like to say that election in Nigeria is one thing that is not so, we cannot with some watertight certainty say that it's predictable. We cannot predict what might happen. But having regard to our previous political experience, there's a chance that the North always seems to swing in favor of a certain person. They defer to him. They respect him. It's like he's a god in the North. And so, notwithstanding that we have someone who might give the present administration some bit of challenge, a run for their money, I still think that the North, we know where the vote in the North is going to swing.
All of the North?
not necessarily all of the North, but we know where the majority of the vote in the North is going to swing. We can say with some degree of certainty as well that we know where the vote in the South is going to swing. But in the South, we would have the problem of a split. We have some of these rising, we call them the third force. They might seem to swing or sort of split the votes in the South so that the South may not be as dominant as it used to be. The West, APC still has a very strong hold of the West. And so there's not much that will change.
I was going to say the Southwest seemed to have decided the elections
yes,
in 2015. What region would define it this time?
I should say it's the North. I think I stand to be corrected though, but I should say it's the North. Yeah.
You don't like predictions, but who do you think is going to win? Looking at the field, looking at what happened in 2015, looking at the possibility of upsets, and looking at the structure you see on ground, what do you think is going to happen? Who do you think will be taking the 2019 elections? That's why you're here.
And I'll start by saying that it will depend. If the elections are truly free and fair, one of the first statements that the president made in his New Year speech was that the elections are going to be free, fair, and credible. So if the elections are free and fair, I foresee a situation where the president will be voted out of office. We are not oblivious of the various crimes of Nigerians, whether it's on social media or even in the physical political space. People are tired, people are disgruntled with the present administration. It's in the air. Notwithstanding that we have a couple of people who continue to try to twist the rhetorics the other way, but Nigerians have expressed dismay at the present administration. And so if we have a free and fair election, there's even a chance that the two big candidates might not even win. But if you ask me, between the many riggers who would win the election, I should say the one who has... Allegedly. I should say the one who controls the more resources. I'll give it to the present, the incumbent.
So you think he's going to be re-elected?
I would think so, if it's about riggers.
All right, okay. Your words, not mine. Thank you very much for being here today, Wofai.
Thank you very much,
we're going to be having, of course, this conversation continuously throughout this election season, and even post-election till May 29th and going forward, because, I mean, what's life in Nigeria without politics?
I hope to come back and say I said so.
Yes, please do come back. Thanks for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
We'll take another quick break and come back with our conversation continuing. Don't go away.